Chapter 2 Palace Lunch. Abdurrahman was not tall for his age, but he towered over the toddlers who finally agreed to sit down within the tiled courtyard at the center of the palace. The filtered sunlight from the overhanging branches fell upon the disquieted children who had been playing happily till their comrade was suddenly taken away by an adult relative with inexplicable haste. The children wanted to see their fathers, gone now for months. Mostly it was aunts, older cousins who were married, and relations seen on holidays that actually came. Only Abdurrahman and his younger brother Yahya understood the battle had gone badly, that some of these remaining children would be orphans soon. Don't cheat. Don't get up until I start counting, he said to them. At 17, his own son of a few months was much too young to play, not quite crawling. Where is my daddy? Your daddy is 10, 9, 8, 7. Abdurrahman pushed his face toward the scattering group of children, frightened by his sudden countdown. He slowed his count to allow them to find hiding places in the palace. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Here I come. Prince Abdurrahman hummed benedictions on the Holy Prophet as he circumambulated the first floor, eschewing the courtyards at the center where hiding spots would be fewer. He made it a point to narrate his thoughts aloud, even as he, quote, saw nothing in this room, or was, quote, coming to this room, in order to alert the players of his whereabouts at all times. He saw a large wooden bin with wheels in the hall filled with dirty laundry. As he approached, he saw the uneven white light on a single strand of a spider's web connecting diagonally the rim of the laundry bin to somewhere on the ceiling. I wonder if anybody is stinky enough to be hiding in all of this laundry, he announced. His head leaned into the kitchen on the second floor and delighted the old lady making bread at one of the 49 counters used for preparing food. Only her counter and the two adjacent counters showed any signs of work, and the others were spotlessly clean. I wonder if any children are hiding inside the kitchen, he said. The elderly lady looked at him and flashed a smile to unabashedly show her many missing teeth. He nodded to her, put his right hand upon his heart, and bowed slightly before stepping backwards to slip out of the room. On the second floor, Abdurrahman watched the single archer who regularly patrolled the palace fast asleep in one of a set of faded vermilion sofas hauled from nearby rooms to form a cluster around a table. There was a bucket of oranges and another of dates on the empty seats next to him. Abdurrahman did not proclaim his whereabouts here as he walked along the hallways, and eventually the noise of distant snoring filled the music room. Here, hanging on the walls, he observed the lines of poetry calligraphed in giant letters by his favorite, Zachariah, who was hardly ever in town. He considered the mountain of pillows against one of the walls as if the last inhabitant needed to build a ramp of cushions to jump through the upper wall. Here was no movement and no singing. Far enough from the snorer to speak without waking him, the prince said, I hope nobody is hiding in this room. Ascending the enormous winding staircase to the third floor, he saw a line of cats sitting at the top watching him. When he reached the top, the cats began meowing and rubbing themselves against his ankles. There are so many cats around me as I walk down this hall. I hope they don't eat little kids, he said. He heard a sound at the far end. Either a child was giggling across between rooms, or it was another cat, or a gust of wind through an open window made a door creak somewhere. He passed the rooms for Prince Yunus, his cousin, the door completely missing, and the room's window showing the city's birds circling rooftops and distant minarets with fleets of small clouds worlds away. He approached his family's apartment, the door closed, and the murmur of his sisters, wife, and child hiding behind a still working lock and latch. He entered the atrium at the far end where his siblings had conducted their shows before someone secretly brought a cow into the place and butchered it overnight. The fly ridden carcass in the middle of the room was discovered the next morning, and that was an end to their shows and any juvenile usage of the acoustically designed hub for oratory. Now, the bony, rotting cow carcass and the city of buzzing flies had inherited the atrium. He realized the smell would have shielded the room from roaming children, and him also, were he able to smell beyond the generic burning sensation that indicated to him a strong scent of some kind. Past the doors to the empty third floor kitchen, his freckled face leaned into a closet. Beneath a mop of auburn hair, his eyes made it a point not to look straight down. He listened for the frantic breathing of giddy children. Abdurrahman crept onto the carpeted areas of the Royal Library, now without its team of 28 librarians for many days. Each librarian represented one of the letters of the alphabet. He passed 20 aisles of books, like leathery bricks, all stacked and rising to the high ceiling at every glance. He coughed and hummed his way toward the letters Kaf and Lam. Giggling wafted along the bookshelves, as if his steps were affecting a tickling sensation to any nearby children. I wonder if anybody is here, he said out loud. Where could these crazy children be hiding? He stood right in front of one of them, a child of 6 who had wedged himself between heavy books on the lowest shelf, staring at Abdurrahman's sandals. I thought I heard some giggling. Oh, well, I guess there's nobody here. Giggling burst into laughter. Laughter created arms. Abdurrahman pretended to yelp and ran out of the library, feigning terror. Run! It's the library genie! After an hour, half of the children grew tired of hiding and sauntered back to the courtyard, hungry. The other half had waited so long to be found by Abdurrahman, they fell asleep in their respective alcoves and closets. Abdurrahman walked up to the table at the side of the courtyard where 6 children ate with their mothers, some bread dipped in a pot of honey. When the children saw him, they all yelled, Where were you? Where was I? Where were you? I've been looking all over. And there was that crazy stuff going on in the library with the library genie. No way. He's making that up. Did you kill it? Abdurrahman smiled at the women folk. To the children, he said somberly, Eat your lunches. Bismillah.